Copa America, the party that almost became a tragedy. The 2024 Copa America was supposed to showcase the America's passion for football. But as Argentine newspaper O put it, this party almost became a tragedy. Hosted by the United States in some of the biggest and best stadiums in world sport, the tournament was beset by problems. It featured poor pitches, half-empty stadiums, and crowd trouble before ending in chaotic scenes on Sunday. The final between Argentina and Colombia was delayed by 80 minutes after ticketless fans forced their way into Miami's Hard Rock Stadium. Several arrests were made after clashes with police and security personnel, while several supporters needed treatment from paramedics. It was far from the showpiece the organizers hoped for and raises concerns before the 2026 World Cup, set to be co-hosted by the US, Canada, and Mexico. So what went wrong, and what can be learned from an event Argentine media outlet Total Noticias branded a world-class failure? A plague of liars. Problems were apparent in the opening game between Argentina and Canada. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni and players from both teams complained about the condition of the pitch in Atlanta. 11 of the 14 host venues were NFL stadiums, and 6 of them had grass pitches installed over an artificial surface. In some cases, the turf was laid just days before. The tournament is organized by Conmebol, South American football's governing body, which said it carried out tests before and after games that showed pitches were in good condition. But Uruguay coach Marcelo Bielsa said in a news conference that they were a plague of liars, that the training pitches provided were a disaster, and that Scaloni and his players had been threatened not to speak out. Brazil's Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr criticized both the standard of the pitches and refereeing, while the Football Federation of Chile, FFC, asked for referee Wilmer Roldan to be sanctioned for disastrous conduct during their final group game. Uruguay players then clashed with Colombia fans after their semi-final defeat, having gone into the stands to protect their families. The Uruguay Football Association, UFs, said there were insufficient security measures in place at the game in Charlotte, where Colombian and Uruguayan fans were not segregated. Most of the games in the knockout stages were sold out, but crowds were significantly below capacity at 50% of the 32 games across the tournament. That was partly because of ticket prices. The average cost was estimated to be about $200, £155, although tickets for certain games were far more expensive on US resale sites and because of dynamic ticket pricing. What happened at the Copa America final? Before Sunday's final, Colombia coach Nestor Lorenzo had already complained about Colombian pop star Shakira performing a halftime show, meaning the interval would last for 25 minutes rather than 15. Conmebol also issued a statement saying that only ticket holders would be allowed to enter the stadium campus before the 20 o'clock kickoff, local time. But as the scheduled kickoff time approached, a statement from a stadium spokesperson said that thousands of ticketless fans had attempted to forcibly enter the stadium, which has a capacity of 65,000. Footage shows fans breaching the stadium gates, climbing over perimeter walls and fencing, and even through ventilation ducts. A stadium statement later explained that as gates were closed and reopened strategically, some fans continued to engage in illegal conduct, fighting police officers, breaking down walls and barricades, and vandalizing the stadium, causing significant damage to the property. It had become overcrowded outside the stadium, with fans waiting in 31°C heat, and a joint decision was made, for a short period, to allow fans in without scanning tickets to prevent stampedes and serious injury at the perimeter. The gates were then closed once the threat of fans being crushed was alleviated, the statement added. At that time, the venue was at capacity and gates were not reopened. Players' families were also involved in the chaos, and Argentina coach Scaloni said afterwards, "We had to start a match without knowing where our family members were. It was very weird." The game ultimately kicked off more than an hour late. With there being extra time as well as the halftime show, it did not finish until 09 local time. Stadium disappointed ticket holders left outside. 8 of the Copa America venues will also be used for the 2026 World Cup. They include the Hard Rock Stadium, which is set to host 7 matches including a quarterfinal and the third-place playoff.